I, 38F, caught my husband, 41M, of 11 years cheating last night. I caught my husband of 11 years cheating last night. He's been acting distant and awed the last 2 months. He's very hot and cold. He's constantly snapping at me. Then he realizes what he said, quickly changes his tone, and tries to smooth things over. We're both going through a lot of stress right now. So I thought it was just that. Something has felt off for the last few weeks. I said to him the other night that he never says that he loves me anymore. He quickly told me that he told me at some random interval, but I must have not heard him. I came home yesterday and was feeling sick. He said to have a shower and go to bed. He'll take care of everything else because he's going out to a workmate's place. We always have our tracking locations turned on for each other. I looked and he turned his off. So I grabbed his computer and checked the location from that one. I saw he wasn't heading in the same direction as his friends. So I logged onto his Facebook and found it all laid out. I sent him photos of the messages. He wasn't going to come home, but then when he did, we ended up having a huge argument. He's been resenting me for some stuff from years ago. Something we did that we'd talked about and agreed on. But he never saw it that way. He said we never talk anymore. Yet he's the one who comes home, shoves his earphones in, and sits on TikTok for hours on end. He said she listens and it all got out of control very quickly. She was very aware that he was married. I was mentioned in a few of their messages. I don't know where to go or how to even proceed with anything right now. If he had wanted a midlife crisis side piece, I would have let him if it was just sex. I probably would have joined in. But the fact he said he loved her and wanted to be with her, it's just a whole new level of hurt. Last night he said he ended it with her, that neither of them ever meant to hurt me. He's agreed to marriage counseling and is seeing a psychologist separately anyway. Something I knew nothing about. I'm not in a position to be able to just walk away right now. I just don't even know how I'm going to get up and face the day today. I'm beyond hurt and heartbroken. Is there any coming back from this, or is it going to forever be this wedge driven between us? Update. I told my husband I wanted to separate, need support. I found out about my husband's affair nearly 6 weeks ago. He promised he would end it with her. Then I found out he was still in contact with her. Again, he promised it was over. I ended up contacting her and was a bit threatening. He lost his shit over it. He's adamant I contacted the wrong person. But who else's number would be it that he's texting until 2 a.m.? It's been pretty ugly since then. Things are okay 1 minute, then it's another 10 steps back. We've been to marriage counseling, and the counselor said that my husband needs to have 100% disclosure. He needs to do the work and answer whatever I need. Otherwise, it's a constant state of being triggered. We decided to work on being friends with the hope that might fix the relationship. That's not happening. He refuses to even give me the basics. I want her name, even though I have it from when I found her. I want to know why it happened. And all he can say is that it doesn't matter. That's me knowing that information isn't going to work for me, and I'll always be triggered by it, which is complete and utter bullshit. He says that being friends doesn't come with conditions and that I don't ask my other friends what I'm asking him. Last night he was texting someone while we were watching a movie. I couldn't see the name, but it was the same length name. This person was sending him love hearts and love heart eye emojis. I asked him who it was. All I got was that it was a friend. When I pushed, he refused to name the friend, said I had no right knowing what was going on in his life, and that I didn't need to know every detail of his life. He said I didn't trust him because I believed it was her, then stormed out. I said to him over text I wanted to separate because this wasn't working, that he can't even be honest with me. Then the gaslighting started. He said, I was the one who didn't want this work, that I already had my mind made up. I told him I was screaming at him simple things he needed to do to make this work, but he wouldn't do that. Then he ended up blocking me because I was too angry. I didn't even cry after this. I didn't sleep well, but I didn't cry. This was not working, and I finally hit my point. I was done. Now I suppose he can have what he wants. For me to leave so he can say that my wife left me when all I wanted to do was fix things. I've done nothing but try to fix this. I'm always the one trying to engage in conversations. He constantly leaves me on red. I was the one who booked the appointments and did the work the counselor gave us. I was the one trying to find some footing in this new territory by asking him what he wants, and he can't even answer that. I had my psychologist appointment the other day, and she said there's a 90% chance that the affair is still going. I wanted so badly to trust him and not believe it. While I don't have any proof, my gut is screaming at me that this is still happening. I'm not being crazy, am I? Because he's certainly making me feel like I am. Update 2. For those who's had long-term relationships. Need support. How do you handle the day-to-day stuff when all of a sudden they aren't there anymore? My husband and I have been together for 13 years and married for 11. I thought our marriage was rock solid. He has always been my best friend, the person I could confide in, and the one who has helped me through a lot of shit. I miss having someone to come home to talk to about the mundane day-to-day things. I miss the conversations throughout the day, even when it's just something as simple as both of us being excited for our lunch breaks. I work with dogs at my job, and I miss his support when things go wrong, especially when it's your favorite dog. I don't even know the person he has become since the affair has come to light. It's not even the man I married and cherished for the last 13 years, but I still miss that part of our life together. Update 3. I found the AP and her spouse need support. So I caught my husband having an affair about 6 weeks ago. He told me it was over and that it wasn't anyone he worked with. It's been awful, and we ended up separating. On Monday, I dropped in to surprise him at work because we've been doing okay. He walked out with one of his female colleagues, and their reaction was off. Then that night, he said he needed to go for a drive to let off some steam. Then when he came home, everything was off. I caught him in another lie. So we blew up again the next day. He decided to clear out our joint accounts, which screwed me financially since I'm off sick at this moment. I had a brainstorming moment because I had the number he had been texting all the time. From there, I found an account that was attached to the initials and last name of the work colleague. I found her on Facebook, and the profile pictures matched the messages. From the profile, I found the messages between them, the incriminating messages. From there, I also found her partner. Now my husband says that he's abusive, and it's the only thing that stopped me from sending the screenshots I had. I don't know if it's true, though. Any hope of reconciliation is gone. All of his lies have come to the surface now. I want to go full scorched earth, but that's the only thing that's stopping me. I am so torn right now. Update 4. Husband moves out this weekend. Needs support. I still don't know how I feel about it. I discovered the affair nearly 3 months ago. He put zero effort into any type of reconciliation and decided that he was moving out and giving us a break for a few months. He said that would be the best thing for our marriage. We separated about 5 weeks ago. He continues to be friends with his AP and still can't see how inappropriate it is. When I found out who she was, he completely lost his shit with me, saying the AP could handle this physically or mentally, then said, if this costs him his friendship with her, then we're done with no hope of coming back. I'm pretty sure we're done anyway. I won't be disrespected like this. Until he's willing to give her up, I'm not going to play this bullshit game. So he's gone this weekend. No more of this stiff politeness when we see each other. No more of him rolling his eyes and throwing a tantrum when I ask him to turn the TV off so I can go to bed. But in a way, it feels like it's starting to sink in that I'm 99% sure this is it. There's no coming back from it. And the grief is starting to sink in about it. Update 5. I told the AP's spouse. And it was awful. I've destroyed any hope of reconciliation with my husband. He was so mad, I honestly thought he was going to hit me. So now he's flying to another state to be with her. At least I have my answer. He was never going to pick me over her, even if they were just friends. So she contacted me and threw him under the bus, said he's been lying to both of us. I don't know what the truth is. I'm still pretty numb about the whole thing, to be honest. Update 6. It's been a week. Reflections and journaling. Since I told his AP spouse, we had the mother of all blow-ups, so I don't think there will be no coming back from any of this. He has already moved out, claiming it would be good for us to start fresh by ourselves down the line. He wouldn't give me his address because he didn't want me to randomly drop by because he needed space to process and heal. After this all went down, he took the car I relied on to go to work. He told his parents, who I still live with, that the horses and dogs he owns, for them to do whatever they want. This adds to my financial burden because I would never let his horses go without. He won't speak to anyone, not his parents or our friends. Everyone has been trying to reach out to him, but he's ignoring everybody. I'm blocked on everything, even TikTok. Part of me doesn't want to care. Anger had gotten me through most of the last week, but now I'm just sad because all I asked for was one thing during this whole mess. And that was for him to stop talking to her, and he couldn't even do that. He claimed that I was being manipulative and I couldn't dictate who he was friends with, that I've now ruined his life because he has lost everything, that he lost me, the dogs, and the horses. But he chose to walk away. He chose to keep speaking to her, even though I had very clear boundaries. So, today my thoughts are a jumbled with mix of sadness and some anger thrown in there. Some stupidity if he came back and was willing to do the work. I would still give him another chance. Final update. It's my birthday. Reflections and journaling. The first one in 13 years without him. It's been harder than I thought it would be. Way harder. We've had no contact since I told the AP's husband about 5 weeks ago. He's cut me off entirely in all forms of communication except email. I've emailed him once asking to talk, as we still have the phone bill in my name. He said we're beyond talking and wants to do mediation so we can have everything ready to divorce. Then he randomly showed up here, I still live with his parents, and then got upset because I left without saying anything. I felt ambushed and he wanted to talk then. I'm not a mind reader and he can't just randomly show up and expect things to go his way. Still, I've been doing a little better. Day by day gets easier. This feels like a momentous setback to be crying over him. Again. I have an amazing support network who has shown me so much love today. I'm still crying because he isn't here though. I hate it.